Hello friends, how are you doing? We're going to be updating my charts and my predictions for NVIDIA and the SP500 index. Let's see that how the economy has been doing these past few days. Really everything that I just predicted came to pass, like absolutely everything. The only kind of surprise was the 15th of October, which was a very powerful correction, very powerful. Present in most stocks, at least for the NVIDIA that you're looking at right now, and we'll also be seeing that same correction on the index. Now, that was really the only surprise. That day was part of a consecutive green day, so we got the uptrend for the 14th of October, even though most of the day was a range, but it was really this in the first hour. This massive green candle right here that we consolidate the uptrend, and we were expecting another consecutive uptrend as well the next day, but that's not what happened. We got this powerful correction instead. That was really the only surprise so far. Everything else is doing very well, exactly like I predicted. For example, we can see that on the NVIDIA chart, we see that the price recovers on the 16th of October with a rather strong volatility, especially in the first hour. You can see there's a lot of volatility right there. That was part of the yellow circle. You know, guys, that yellow circles always mean either lots of volatility or lots of range. In this case, we got a very powerful uptrend, very volatile as well, especially like I was saying in the first hours. So the next day after that is the 17th of October. Now that day was part of a yellow day, of a yellow circle as well. We already see that the volatility was present in the 16th. Now on the 17th we see some yellowish energies as well. You can see that the price behaves, at least in this part, very similar and ends in a similar position, but really that's not where the price actually ends. After that, it initiates a correction and the price ends much lower, somewhere around here, right here. So you can see that the price ends lower regarding the starting position that was part of the prediction right here on the red circle. Now that day 17 was shared by by the yellow and the red circles. So these are not opposite energies, but they can mean that it's a downtrend with some range. It could be a downtrend with some volatility, and what we got is exactly that, the first case. We got a downtrend with a range. So that was on the 17th, and today is basically like a nothing burger, guys. This is just completely boring day. Nothing at all happened. There's not even a room for scalping or whatever. It's basically just nothing. Now that day was part of the red circle. Now both the yellow and the red circles are not consecutive. They are just alternative days. So we got the correction for that day yesterday. Today is 16th of October, Friday. So this is basically where the week ends, and that's actually what I expected for the week to end. In my last videos I told you guys that even though we had possible red energies on the 17th and 18th, I was only seeing either one of these 2 days only being an actual correction. That's what we saw yesterday, not today. So even though it was a very boring day, basically completely indifferent, really doesn't matter, guys. At least we didn't get another consecutive correction. That was very useful in that case. So yeah, that's how NVIDIA is doing. Very powerful uptrends ever since the month started. Now right here NVIDIA is basically on a very solid green month, very solid. Now that was actually my predictions. I told you really that it was going to be very volatile, I think, but I told you that I was not seeing a red month, for at least for stocks. Now in my crypto predictions I really did told you guys that I was seeing a red month. And so far we're actually seeing one of the cryptocurrencies that I cover on the red, but the other one is really completely surprising everyone, already touching very consistent and very amazing levels. But anyways, if you want to see that, just go ahead and watch my crypto channel, because right here we only focus on the traditional stocks. So for NVIDIA, the next week we could see an opening with a green day. That's alternative day, so either on the 21 or the 22. Depends on really what happens here. One of these 2 days we could see an impulse correction, following again by alternative days on the 23 or the 24th of October. So it's going to be a very cool, very interesting first couple days in the next week for at least for NVIDIA. Now, before I go on over to the index, I want to invite you all to share, like, subscribe. And you guys, I love your comments. Just keep commenting and give me some feedback regarding my proposal to you guys in my last videos. I told you that I was doing sports predictions for myself and thinking about sharing them. I'm most likely going to be making a completely new channel, but I want your opinion if you are also very interested in that sense. Okay, so the SP500, very similar chart like the NVIDIA one. We really did have some differences. Again, you need to watch my previous videos where I cover every single difference that the index has in relationship to NVIDIA. But really it's very similar, especially in these days. For example, we can see that, like I was saying with NVIDIA, we saw this powerful and surprise correction on the 15th of October. Something really happened that day that maybe was really tied to geopolitics or some kind of financial news. I really did not pay much attention on that day. I am very busy, so I'm constantly just working on my other projects. So I don't really have the time to predict absolutely everything. But I think it was something important, guys, because this is a powerful correction. But nonetheless, we saw the following recovery on the next day, which is the 16th of October. Now, that was, of course, predicted, like I was telling you guys, with this green circle right here. Again, alternative days, not on the 15th, but really happens on the 16th of October. Very powerful and solid recovery. Maybe not back to the original levels, but still a very solid, at least 75%, something like that recovery. Now the next day, even though after trading it begins much higher than the closing of the last day, on the 17th of October, yesterday, we saw a powerful correction as well. Again, that was part of the prediction that I told you. This correction is also present on the NVIDIA one, and both of them had this possible 17 as a red day, and both of them got it for that day. That's 17 yesterday. So you can see that the price closes much lower than it opened. It was a very powerful correction. It's even more volatile and very drastic in the index than it is on NVIDIA. So it was very telling about the health of the economy that day. But today, which is the 18th of October, we see a recovery. Maybe not that powerful, maybe not that amazing, maybe not that volatile even, but it's still a recovery, guys. We can see that the price closes higher than it opens. And really the pattern of the day is also kind of yellowish uptrend, I might say. So because we can see that it's not really that drastic, and in the final hours it kind of forms like a range right here. But that's my interpretation. Really, I can see some yellowish energies for that day. And that's how we close the week for the index. Now, the index also has with NVIDIA shared the fact that we could see green openings on the 21 or the 22 of October. Now, there's, especially for the index, we need to pay attention for Monday, because that day is going to be very volatile, I think. We have red and green sharing that single day. So that means most of the time, like 90% of the time, that it's going to be very, very volatile. Like, for example, on the 16th of October, we can see that that day was shared by green and red circles. Very powerful impulse. Now, in this case, it could be an impulse or it could be a correction, depending on what circle ends up prevailing. But that's really at least the forecast for Monday. Now we could see some green as well on the 23 or 24. and by the end of the week, the Friday, that will be completely yellow, maybe like today, maybe like other Fridays where basically just the price doesn't do much. For example, most of the day on the 11th, most of the day of today, something like that. But anyways, guys, that's all I want to share with you. Remember, like, share, subscribe, keep this growing with us, and I'll be seeing you guys next time. Take care.